Yes, that's for sure. The one thing the Chaos really have to watch out for in this game, though, is the special teams unit of this Racine Raiders. Their kickoff return team and their punt return team. You look at, they have two guys they like to send back there.
In the middle or the one on my right?
We're getting teams are holding up now. The Racine Raiders. I want to get really quick, though. I want to tell you about this return team. It's Tyrone Galvin. He's averaging nearly 58 yards a punt return, Chris, and 2 touchdowns.
That's pretty incredible, and that's an area too we've seen sometimes where they need some help too. So good test for their special teams unit as well. As looks like we're going to step aside now for that national anthem.
At this time, ladies and gentlemen, please rise, honor our nation. Gentlemen, remove your caps as Brittany Dialli sings our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? God bless the USA.
So excellent job there for the national anthem singing. Getting ready to start this game now. About 3 minutes to kick off. I'm going to go over the officials today. Referee will be Joe Petrinitz. Umpire is Eric Rudiger. Head linesman is Adam Inklin. Side judge is John Purdy. The line judge is Jim O'Brien. And the field judge is Keith Turner. So we've got a 6-man crew here this afternoon. Both teams on their own sidelines getting ready as the Chaos bring it in. And they break off. And the Racine Raiders getting ready to go. Their starting quarterback for today's game is a very good one in Craig McClellan, number 4. Chaos obviously go with number 10, Anthony Iannotti.
Yeah, and when you look at it for Craig, over 5 games, his 78.6 quarterback rating, a 45.4% completion percentage for 827 yards, 11 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions. About 150 yards a game he averages. That's pretty good. And then you look, too, at their rushing leaders. They're totaling about 151 rushing yards a game, so a very run-heavy team. You've got Tyrone Galvin, Lashley, and Taylor. They're 3 running backs, total for 756 yards between them. They all average over 4 yards a carry, 7 for Galvin and 5.3 for Lashley.
Yeah, J.R. Taylor is the workhorse. He's had 75 attempts through 5 games this season. So over about 13 carries a game for him, and he's been getting the job done. 4.8 average, 4 touchdowns. He's had a rush of 50 as longest of the season, 359 yards total. So that's one thing the Chaos have been very good with this season, though, stopping the run and stopping the pass. So a very balanced team is the Racine Raiders, but they're going up against the best defense in the GFL. Should be very exciting to see.
Yeah, and we get to see right away too what can the Chicago Chaos do against this very dangerous return team of the Racine Raiders. So you get to see right off the bat. Another thing to point out too about their rushing game, 10 rushing touchdowns on the year already, 12 passing touchdowns. They're a very balanced team for Racine.
So we're getting ready to kick off here as Dominic Kozlowski sets the ball on the tee, goes back to kick off. Tyrone Galvin, the dangerous kick returner, back inside the 5-yard line to receive. As here we go, ready for football. Dominic Kozlowski, a squib kick, maybe a little trying to keep it away from Galvin as it's picked up at the 25 to the outside, breaks a tackle up to the 30, finally gets brought down across the 30, about the 31-yard line. So interesting move there by the Chaos. I think the right move. You do not want to put it in the hands of Tyrone Galvin as he's averaging.
Yeah, I think that was Daquan McRae was the one who ended up picking that ball up and being the one to return that. Not too good. I mean, you'll take that return from where the ball was from.
Exactly.
I mean, you're getting really good field position to start. As you saw him pick it up off the turf, able to break a couple of tackles. He actually got that extra yardage because of that. Otherwise, he would have been down probably at about the 25-yard line. And you would have taken that, honestly, if you're the Chicago Chaos, if you would have stopped in there. So
and
just got to short the tackling.
Daquan McRae has actually had a kick return for a touchdown this season. He averages 44 yards to return, so good special teams defense there by the Chaos. Chaos come out on defense on a 4-3. Out of the shotgun is Craig McClellan of the Raiders, 3 trips right. He looks downfield over the middle, pass to 45 at the 41-yard line, cuts inside to the outside, across the 50, inside of Chaos territory on the play. Nice catch there by Chris Hicks, the tight end of this Racine Raiders offense, as he gets inside of Chaos territory in the first play of the game.
It was good read there of seeing what the defense was going to do. They saw the hole, easy, quick throw. He knew where he was going the entire time. Real quick throw, and then a good job. Nick Olson almost takes that ball away, too. I think he's probably gonna be looking for that again next time if he sees the ball go into the hands of Chris Hicks again, because he left that out hanging for somebody to take it away from him.
That gain good for 21 yards. Next play out of the I form, hands it off to his running back, breaks to the outside. This is Tyrone Galvin. Breaks another tackle, getting pressured, now turning backwards and gets brought down behind the line of scrimmage. A loss of about 4 yards there. Excellent defense pursuit there by the Chaos.
And a great job by Marvin Roan, because he was the initial player who reached the running back for Racine. And what does he do? He makes a good hit on the player, but you see he kind of bounces off of it. But right back to his feet gets Marvin Roan, and he gets back in on the play and helps take down the running back.
When we talk about Marvin Roan's physicality at the cornerback position, he's a hard-hitting defensive back, very aggressive, excellent pursuit to the ball.
He's also a very good coverage corner. Even though he is that aggressive, he knows what he's supposed to do in defense. We've only seen him get beat once this year, and it was because of a ball that deflected.
2nd and 15 out of the shotgun. Gets it off, runs with it, gets a couple yards upfield. Was running back on the keeper, Craig McClellan, not a called keeper, but pressure was coming, and he had to just get out of there. Picks up a few yards, so makes a 3rd and manageable compared to a 3rd and 15 on the 5-yard gain.
It's still a bit of a 3rd and long when you look at where they are. So, I mean, it looks like he maybe got back to the line of scrimmage for that one. So
yeah, about 3rd and 10 here.
So it was a 2nd and 15, so now he got 5 yards. 3rd and 10, that's still a 3rd and long. But, I mean, good decision there by Craig McClellan. He really had nowhere to go.
So Craig McClellan out of the strong eye as he now out of 4 wide receiver spread, drops back, looks to his left, throws over the middle into triple coverage, caught by Sam Dalia at about the 32-yard line. So that will be a 1st down.
I think that was C.J. Young on the coverage there, and I don't know if he didn't see that the ball was coming. He was in a good position to play the ball. He was just late getting in on the play. I mean, like you said, there was a couple of players there in position, and it was C.J. Young was the one there. I don't know if he just had his head turned at the wrong time, so he didn't see when McClellan was throwing the ball, because he could have gotten his hand in there easily. He was staying with the receiver on the route, just didn't get his hand in the way.
That pass was good for 15 yards. Now McClellan out of the I form, 2 wide receivers to the left, 1 on the right, hands it off up the middle. Nick Olson there gets a hand on the jersey and brings him down. Nice tackle by Nick Olson behind the line of scrimmage, as really Tyrone Galvin had nowhere to go on that one.
You know what? He's a name that we say a lot. Is Nick Olson. And you see him getting in there as well. And just a good job shedding his block, getting to the running back, just getting in a position to try and make a play. He's able to get a hand on, and you see his strength because he pulls the player back, and that's a running back running away from you. That's hard to do.
Well, that's his 50th tackle of the season. He's 2nd in the GFL in tackles playing that middle linebacker position, now lined up as an outside linebacker. He really goes all over the field. Shotgun set, 2 wide receivers left, 1 wide receiver behind the right tackle. Dropping back, looks to the left, throws to the outside in the flat, caught at the 25, brought down at about the 21-yard line was Sam D'Elia, his second catch of the game. And that's going to pick up some positive yardage almost in the red zone of the chaos.
Greg McClellan is doing a great job of spreading the ball around, finding the open receivers, people in the open areas or with mismatches there. There was definitely a mismatch there between, I believe that DJ Smith was the one who caught it, or was that
it was Sam D'Elia, but we have the right tackle of the Racine Raiders, Dusty Swenson, limps off the field. He's a captain for this team. A very good offensive lineman. We'll see what happens. Hopefully he is okay.
And that's something, too, that maybe Chicago can take advantage of. They have a very good defensive line, and if you give them a little bit, when you lose a player that important, that could really make a difference.
So single back, big formation here for McClellan. Tosses it out to the right, across the 20 to the 15, cuts back inside, over to the 10-yard line, inside the 10, gets finally brought down to the 9-yard line, was Tyrone Galvin, who's having a very good first drive here for the Raiders.
Yeah, it looks like there's a flag on the field, though, so we're going to get the call for this one here in just a second. But that was a good run to the right by Galvin.
Yeah,
just found the hole and
got to be holding. That's got to be coming back. Usually
Holding,
cross plays.
number
There it is.
56, offense.
So 56 on the offense. That was Stephen Tucker. And now Stephen Tucker did not start this game. He just came in there for their starting right tackle, Dusty Swenson. So we see that take effect very early as you look at Tucker right there on the bottom of your left of your screen. Can't see it anymore, but you saw a clear hold. Good call there by the official.
And that flag brought to you by Tucker Flags, personalized penalty flags and challenge flags. Great fundraising tool and the official flag of the GFL. Visit them at tuckerflags.com.
Now Craig McClellan out of the I form, 2 wide receivers to the left, 1 to his right. He hands it off to Galvin. Galvin to the left, getting some yards upfield to the 20, inside the 20 now. And good blocking there by the Raiders offensive line, and gets Galvin into the second part of the field as he gets past the 20 back into red zone territory.
Now that wasn't just good blocking, that was also great vision by Galvin because he cut back up. He was going up one hole and he came back out of it and then bumped out to the outside and got himself probably another 5, 6, 7 yards extra because of it. Got into that second level of the defense because of it. But of course, great blocking up front because he was already a few yards up the field where that hole was that he was going to try running through anyways.
So it'll be a 2nd and 6 as Craig McClellan calls for a timeout. So we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with you on SportsTimeChicago.com.
Friends, this is Tom Waddle. You may know me as good old number 87 or as the better half of the Waddle and Sylvie show. People often ask me, hey, Tom, how could you be so slow and make it in football? Well, I ignore that question, and then they ask, Tom, how can I be on radio and TV like you? I tell them it takes drive and determination, and you need to learn how it all works. At the Illinois Center for Broadcasting in Lombard, you can do just that. ICB's enrolling students for day and evening classes right now. You can learn how to be a sports talk show host, a producer, do play-by-play, or shoot and edit video. Plus, you'll have a chance to get internships where you can tap into the knowledge of industry pros. They have affordable tuition and financial aid for those who qualify. And with job placement assistance, you can start your new career in less than a year. Go to beonair.com/Chicago Sports. See what the Illinois Center for Broadcasting has to offer. Visit ICB today. beonair.com/Chicago Sports.
If you want to take SportsTownChicago.com with you, now you can.
Welcome back as the Racine Raiders have a 2nd and 6 here. Craig McClellan called a timeout. Did not like we saw the defense. 2 wide receivers to the left. Hands it off to Galvin in the backfield. Nick Olson brings him down for no gain on the play, and Nick Olson's all fired up.
We keep saying his name. It's funny. I should get used to saying Nick Olson's name after just, I mean, this is only the 2nd game for the Chaos I've been able to do this year, but he's always around the ball. Great pursuit wherever it is, whether it's backside or what. I mean, you look at it already in this game for Olson. He already has 3 solo tackles.
Yeah, I mean, by the end of the season, I picture him being first in the league in tackles.
First or second. I wouldn't be surprised if he ended up being in first.
So here we go, 3rd down here as Craig McFarland out of the shotgun, 4 wide receiver spread. He's got Galvin in the backfield alongside with them. He drops back, looks over to the right, throws over the middle, caught at about the 7-yard line, and he found a seam between that zone of the Chaos defense, and McClellan found him.
Well, it was a crossing route on the right side that got him open for, I believe it was Hicks was the one, as it was just a sort of like a good little pick play as you saw the receivers cross routes, and there's just a little bit of confusion of who was to take who, and that was enough time for them to get open.
It was Dorian Palmer with the reception on that for the Raiders. Now it would be a 1st and goal from the 7-yard line.
Sorry.
Craig McClellan.
That was Hicks who we crossed with.
Hicks he crossed. So McClellan under center, toss out to the outside to Galvin. Pressure coming from the Chaos, brings him down at about the 10-yard line, maybe behind the 10, at about the 11. So loss on the play. Good defense there by the Chaos on the outside.
Yeah, and you can clearly see that he's a guy they want to get into space and let him work. He's got some pretty good moves. The unfortunate part there was the receiver on the far side couldn't hold his block long enough. It was a good job getting around. I think it was Marvin Roan.
Yeah, so that is the 3rd pitch play they have called. Like to your point, Chris, they like to get this guy out in space. He's their punt returner, kick returner, and running back. So you want to get the guy the ball, let him do his thing.
It doesn't work though if your receiver doesn't hold his block long enough, and you got to give a lot of credit to Marvin Roan too, because he really disengaged his block really well.
So 2nd and goal from the 11-yard line, dropping back, throws to the right, single coverage in the end zone, goes up, could not make the catch. Throw a little bit high. Coverage on the play for the Chaos was number 31, Christian Grantham. As
I want to have a job in something I love doing. ICB has so many cool things they offer for me and their students. With the amount of stuff you can learn at ICB, there's no way you won't succeed. You can even host your own radio show. Go to beonair.com/Lombard to enroll now. That's beonair.com/Lombard.
If it's the David Palma, I think he's a Bartlett product.
You know that you're Bartlett products, don't you, Chris?
Yeah, I played flag football against him too.
So 3rd down and goal here from the 11-yard line. Out of the shotgun is Craig McClellan. Moves in motion is Sam D'Elia to the left. McClellan drops back, looks left, now over to the right. Scrambles out of the pocket, being chased down. Does get away. Keeps his eyes, goes to the end zone, and caught by Sam D'Ali, who got behind the defender of the Chaos, trying to figure out who it was, and that was a broken down play, but a very good throw there from quarterback Craig McClellan as he finds Sam D'Elia, who continues to move in the back of the end zone and floats one in there for a touchdown.
Well, here's the thing for McClellan. He kept his eyes upfield. He almost crossed over the line of scrimmage, too. He was very close to that line. And just looking here, like you said, it was a broken down play. Blair actually cut in front of the route but jumped too early. It was tough to see the number. I think it might have been Dylan Hunter. It was a little tough to see his number, though.
Number 12, Dylan Hunter, was
Just
on the coverage, I believe. It was
Or
number
no, it was 18. So
Brennan Zeller, Ricky Jersett, the linebacker, just mistimed the ball.
yeah, he just mistimed it. That was, he cut the route. It looked like he was going to have an interception, and this was going to be going back the other way.
Yes.
But we have a flag here, it looks like.
The youth football season is right around the corner. Sharpen your
So the
football
extra
skills by
point
attending the Racine Raider Youth Football Camp this spring.
is, believe he did put the signal up for a good extra point
Yeah.
as the return team now for the Chaos coming out onto the field. 7-0, Raiders with a lead. 7:05 to go here in the first. So Chaos offense has some work to do, and the Chaos defense have to go back to the drawing board. They had the Raiders in some good situations on 3rd downs that they just could not stop them from picking up the first.
That was a very good first drive, though, for Racine.
It was. You
It was
give
very
Racine a
methodical.
lot of credit. They really picked apart the Chaos defense. Chaos defense, though, they'll be back out next time, and you know they are going to want to shut them down the next time out.
It was very methodical the way that they went down the field, and it was very balanced offensively and defensively. A lot of passing plays and a lot of rushing plays as well. 7 rushing plays, 6 passing plays, so they kept it very even. And when you look at their stats, that's sort of what you expect because they're pretty even for their stats for offense or for rushing and passing.
Yeah, Sam Dolly, he had 3 catches on that drive for 39 yards, including that touchdown. So kicking off now, back to return as McFarland picks it up, stumbles across the 15. Now a fumble on the play, picked up by Racine, I believe. And waiting for the official to signal. I believe the Raiders have it, though. And no, the chaos did come at Brockman. Michael Brockman, savior for the chaos there as he touchdown. Dives so on the ball now. Back chaos to return possession as so no harm, no foul there. Picks it up. Stumbles
about what would have been chaos and no pun intended there. But if you turn the ball over there after an offense that really just is coming off a high of getting a good long touchdown drive, to give them a short field, that they would have been chomping at the bit. So good job to get on top of that ball for the chaos. Let their offense get out there. Let Ionati get to work and try and get this game back tied up.
Yeah, so the chaos come out on offense for the first time today against the Racine Raiders defense who play a 4-3. Ionati out of the shotgun. 4 wide receiver spread. Jarrell Johnson in the backfield. Brockman on the outside left. Ionati hands to Johnson up the middle. Nowhere to go. Wrestled down for no gain on the play. Be 2nd and 10 coming back for the chaos.
Yeah, there's just no hole for him to run through. It was a good job by the defensive line for Racine to not allow anything through the middle, which is where it looked like the chaos were trying to go.
Okay.
And it was, I believe it was Pierre Smith was one of the defensive linemen, a big defensive lineman there in the middle, clogging up that lane.
And this defensive line of Racine is very big against a undersized, very efficient offensive line of the Chicago Chaos. So Ionati out of the gun. He's got trips to his left as Former now moves in motion to the right. Ionati takes the snap, looks to Former in the flat, caught at the 23, makes a move up to the 25. Get forward progress there as they will spot that at around the 25-yard line. So it makes it a 3rd and manageable here for the Chaos.
Pretty good play there for the Chaos. They knew exactly where they wanted to go with the ball. Nice job to at least gain an extra yard, too, on the run after the catch for Former.
So the ball will be placed just past the 25-yard line as Ionati, with his first completion of the game, goes to his favorite target, James Former, who is first in the league with 21 catches now, 22 catches. He has 6 touchdowns and a total of 336 yards. Ionati out of the gun. 4 wide receivers spread, their favorite formation to run. Johnson in the backfield alongside Ionati. Waits for the snap, takes it, takes the hand of Johnson, runs to the right. Quarterback keeper across the 30, to the 40, across the 50, across the 40, 30, 20. Can he go all the way? Stumbles in. Touchdown. Anthony Ionati on the run, waiting for a flag. No flags called. That's good. 6 points. Ionati goes, wow. Unbelievable, about 70-yard run, 75-yard run for the quarterback, Anthony Ionati.
That was definitely a designed run. He definitely, that was the plan the entire way, as that was the play before you saw there. But on that running play there, he tucked that. He knew what he was doing the entire time. There was no throw. They had that extra blocking on the right side, and then the seam opened up, and Ionati a lot faster than what people may realize. He's a very good runner, and he takes that one to the house.
He's a very athletic quarterback, and Chris, designed play for sure. He faked the handoff to Real Johnson, and the Racine defense had no idea that Ionati was going to break out to the right.
Well, you think because he's such a good thrower that that's his main weapon, but he also has his legs, and that's what you see happen there. He just explodes through the hole that was created on that right side, and having a chance to get him was number 30 and Torrey Ruffin, and Ruffin just couldn't quite get there as that extra point goes through.
So 7-7 here in an exciting first quarter. Chaos taking 3 plays to score. Racine methodically moved the ball downfield on their first drive with an excellent drive for them, putting up the first 6 points of the game. So now 7-7 here in the first 5 minutes, 6 seconds to take one more play, one more look at Ionati's 75-yard touchdown run.
I mean, that was...
He almost stumbled there.
Well, that's
he was able to stay in.
Like I said, just getting it. Ruffin he got a piece of him, but not enough. Good job by Ionati to keep his feet after he got tangled up a little bit there as he was running. So you have to give a lot of credit to Ionati on that one, and definitely the blocking to open that hole for him.
And go ahead.
The Chaos family now includes the Chicago Force women's tackle football team, which is in their 13th season and including 9 division titles, 3 conference championships, and 1 national championship. The women's sport features a full-gear 11-on-11 NFL-style game. In the 2015 season, they are now 7-1. The Force have outscored their opponents 477 to 52. On Saturday, June 27th, the Force beat the Cleveland Fusion 71 to 12.
Wow, congratulations to the Force. There's a couple of Force players here today helping out with the Chaos.
That's awesome. Go see them. They're nationally and internationally ranked.
And you see another squib kick picked up at the 30 and hit by his own player, and then finally wrapped up at the 32-yard line to the 33, maybe the 34, finally brought down on the play with Saquon McCray. So the Chaos have come out with these squib kicks, showing they do not want the ball in the hands of Tyrone Galvin, the running back, kick returner, and punt returner of this Racine Raiders team.
We've already seen how dangerous Galvin can be just with him in the running game. So, yeah, you don't want to give him that extra space. A good job there. I thought Marvin Roan was going to blow that play up a little bit sooner than when it happened, but a good job on the pursuit by the kicking team for the Chaos to at least limit their. Yes, they're getting good field position, but they're limiting the amount of yardage that this kicking team is getting.
Yeah, good field position for sure from the 34-yard line, their own 34-yard line, as McClellan comes out in a weak I formation. 2 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left. 4-3 defense for the Chaos. Handoff to the fullback right up the middle. Brought down after a good gain. Connor Flannery picked up a few yards on that one.
For more information on the Chicago Force, go to www.chicagoforcefootball.com. And yeah, like you were saying there, Cody, a good run up the middle. Their running game, that's what really is kind of the thing that gets them going. Their passing game just complements it so well, too. They're so good on both sides for rushing and passing.
Now Craig McClellan out of the strong eye, with tight end in the left, 1 wide receiver on either side, hands it off up the middle, and hit at about the 40-yard line and pushed back on the play. So that was on the run there was Tyrone Galvin again for no gain on the play. It will be a 3rd down and 5.
I think the biggest thing right now that if you're the Chicago Chaos that you want to see from your defense is some more consistency, because you'll see them, they'll make some of these great plays and then they'll make some not so good plays. You got to stay a little more consistent here and try and stop one of these drives. You do get a 3rd down here, but now you have to force them to have to punt. It's still a 3rd and short.
So Craig McDonald under center, throws to the left on the flat, picked at the 14 across the 50-yard line was number 14 on the play, Steve Morris, and it looked like the defender, Christian Grantham of the Chaos, slipped and fell on the play, and he could not get back to make the quick tackle. I'm sorry, number 11 on the play was Jason Sumling, plays wide receiver for the Chaos, playing some defensive back on that one. So 1st down for the Raiders.
I think it was actually 17. That is a little bit of a weird-looking 7, though.
Oh, yes.
And that's David Palmer. And here's the thing, too. The cornerbacks for Chicago right now are playing off the ball, and they're looking just for those quick underneath passes as part of it.
So on that run was J.D. Hardy coming in and playing some running back as he gets over, Ivory Lashley. Ivory Lashley this season, you brought him up. He's averaging 5.3 yards a carry, Chris, on 27 attempts through 5 games. And he has 1 touchdown. So this running team, very similar to the Chaos. They use a lot of different running backs in the backfield, mix them up a ton, and give a lot of different guys some more opportunities.
Yeah, some different running styles by the running backs as well, which helps them out too.
So Craig McClellan from the own 36 hands it back to Lashley outside. A couple Chaos players fall, but finally brought down, hit out of bounds at maybe about the 34-yard line of the Chaos, 35-yard line, see where they mark it. So picking up some positive yardage again there is Lashley.
I think they might give it to them.
Very close to the 1st down.
But it looks like they're going to give a timeout. It looks like Chicago called a timeout is what it is. I think that they might give them the 1st down there. Well, they've got it marked as 3rd down right now, but that's very close. I'm surprised they don't measure that one. It looks like it's very close to being a 1st down if it's not.
Yeah, you know what? They're going to measure him just a little bit short, about 6 inches short. So it's going to be a 3rd and inches. Big play today, even though it's only the first quarter. You have a tie ball game here, 7-7. Both offenses have looked very good. Anthony Iannotti's 75-yard touchdown run, and you talk about the score for the Racine Raiders was Craig McClellan's pass to Sam D'Elia, really on a broken play, but we talked about Craig McClellan. He does an excellent job staying in the pocket, keeping his eyes downfield. He's a very good quarterback, and he just kind of floated that ball over. Perfect pass, making the catch for Sam D'Elia for the first score of the game earlier in the first quarter.
And this timeout is brought to you by Party Guard Chicago. They are an all-inclusive tour operating company that promotes responsible entertainment. For all your transportation and event planning needs, go to www.partyguardchicago.com.
So 3rd and inches here as Racine comes to the line of scrimmage. The Raiders, Craig McClellan under center. In the backfield is Lashley. He has 3 wide receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Is a quarterback keeper. Pushes forward, easily gets the first down. He got plenty of yards there, about 5 on the play as he gets to the 30-yard line. And really, when you have a 3rd and inches like that, that's probably the best play to call as a quarterback keeper.
Yeah, I don't think he has the speed of Iannotti, but McClellan is definitely a guy who can move his feet pretty well. We've seen him already escaping from the pocket and doing some great things with his arm when he has some time and room. So he's definitely a guy that's going to be able to get those couple yards on the sneak that you need.
So now out of the strong eye, Craig McClellan and the Raiders. 2 wide receivers to the right, 1 on the left. Hands off to Lashley up the middle. Hit in the backfield, then brought down. And first on the play was number 78 of the Chaos. Trying to see who that was. Maybe Jonathan Pope.
Yeah, it was Jonathan
got in
Pope.
there. He got in there first, laid the first hit, and then finally brought down. It was Robert Albino, excuse me. Robert Albino had the first hit and then brought down in the backfield. So good play there by the Chaos, their front line. You talk about you want to see more consistency with the Chaos. They make these great plays. And then I don't know what happens, Chris, but maybe they just cannot. They have a lapse in the defense. And
I wouldn't say it's been a lapse some of the times. I think it's just some of the times that the Racine Raiders are taking advantage of what the defense is giving them.
So Craig McClellan out of the strong guy. Throws a floater to the right side, overthrows it. Intended receiver on the play was Steve Morris. And good coverage there by the Chaos number 21. Quinnell Johnson was all over Morris.
Yeah, he was really the guy who stopped that from him. He was actually, I think, the closest to the ball as well. So definitely a good job there for the Chaos not to allow that play down the deep side. And you know what? With it being a 3rd and short, or well, it was a 2nd and short, they could take that play, try for that deep ball.
So now, here we go. Out of the shotgun is Craig McClellan. 4 wide receiver spread. Lashley in the backfield on the left side as McClellan drops back, stands straight up, gets pressure, kind of steps up a little bit, throws over the middle, caught to the 25, cut inside of 20, inside the 15, finally brought down on the play. Number 9, wide receiver DJ Smith. As simple cross route over the middle. Chris, what happened on this play?
Well, here's the thing. Again, not some bad pressure. I mean, they were putting some pressure on McClellan, but he's really good in the pocket. He steps to the right and then steps up, and that gives him that extra second that he needed for his receiver in Smith to get open, and then he delivers a great ball over the middle to get the yardage.
Yeah, give credit to Ricky Jerset on that play, making the tackle, really a touchdown-saving tackle. As time's starting to wind down here, they're going to call for the first quarter. So 7-7, tie game here in Racine, Wisconsin. We are at historic Orlick Athletic Field. One of the best teams, the Racine Raiders in the MSFL, and against the best teams in the GFL, Chicago Chaos.
Yes, great game so far. A fun game. I mean, tied at 7. We've had some explosive plays on both sides of the ball. It's just been a lot of fun so far. And, of course, if you want to have some fun, there's always the Greater Chicago Flag Football League based in Melrose Park, Illinois. Co-ed ages 5 to 18, powered by NFL Flag. NFL plays 60, USA Football, and NFL PPK. For more information, go to www.chicagoflagfootball.com. Cody, when I look at that first quarter, the defense of Chicago giving up a lot more yardage maybe than what they're used to. But part of the reason why is they're seeing one of the most balanced and best offenses they've seen.
Well, this is a different team that the Chaos are used to playing. You see the quarterback play of Craig McClellan. He does not panic when pressure comes to him. He stays tough. He stays in that pocket. He can move around, too. He's not the athlete Ayanati, but he is very smart in where the pressure is coming from. He knows the position he has to get to and keeps his eyes downfield. To your point, Chris, what you mentioned early, he's always looking downfield.
Yes, vision is so important as a quarterback, and he just knows where his receivers are going to be. He's on the same page as most of his receivers, and that's just as important as the vision and everything else. You have to know where they're going to be. So even if you're looking, you still got to know where they're going to be.
And hand off to Lashley to the right. Upfield, gets brought down at about the 10-yard line. So gains a couple of yards on the play. Team switch sides here to start the second. And there's some, looks like a flag on the field.
Flag definitely came out. I'm not sure who it's going to be on. We'll find out here in a second. But when you look at that run, it was a good job of the pursuit of Chicago to get over there to not allow Lashley to turn that corner.
Sportsmanlike conduct, number 17 of the defense, half the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
So that was David Palma, defensive back for the Chaos on sportsmanlike conduct, trying to see where it was on the play. I couldn't tell where it was. Kind of tough to see from our angle, kind of hard to see it. But referees have done an excellent job here today. I'm sure it was the right call.
I mean,
so that's going to be half the distance to the goal line now.
I think that's only our third flag in the game, too.
Yes.
It's been a very
clean
game.
It's been a good pace.
Yeah, it's
really
been
a good pace.
But also good play on both sides where you don't really need the flag to come out. So you don't want to see the unsportsmanlike there, especially they're getting down inside the goal line.
Hand off to Lashley up the middle, and he powers over for a touchdown on the play. Quinnell Johnson had a chance. Could not stop it from getting in there as Lashley scores for his first touchdown run of the game, the first rushing touchdown for the Raiders of the game. Makes it 13-7. Let's take one more look at that run out of the I form for the Raiders.
Good lead blocking up in front, and Lashley just powers through the hole off tackle and gets into the end zone for the touchdown to give Racine the lead once again. So now the Chicago offense is going to have to come back out here and answer once again. But when you look at it here, it's it's not often that you see a team that really has been as balanced as they have been. 24 plays, 15 rushes, 9 passing plays. I mean, a little bit favoring their running game, but their running game is working. That's why they already have 40 yards rushing in the game on those 15 plays.
And they really have used their running game to set up the passing game when they've had to, and they've proven they can convert these third downs, whether it be third and short or third and long. They've been able to pick it up. So Ivory Lashley gets in for his second touchdown of the season, and the extra point was good. So 14-7 Raiders.
The Chicago Chaos Football non-for-profit minor league football team. Visit their updated site at www.chicagochaosfootball.com. The Chaos, thanks to them, we're here. And it's been a fun day so far, and they trail right now. But the one thing that they do have going very well for them, their offense.
Yes, they've only had 3 plays.
Right, but they had a scoring play off of one of them, and a 70-yard run touchdown.
Anthony Ayanati on a designed quarterback run. It was on a 3rd and 5, so kind of risky, but it shows you the confidence they have in Ayanati as a runner as well as a passer.
Well, it just shows, too, the difference in dynamic when he's out there, though, too. I mean, having just somebody who can only run with somebody who can run and pass, it's a big difference.
So Justin Sheppy kicking off for the Raiders. Nice kick. James Former has to back up, takes it from his own 2-yard line to the left, has some blockers across the 30, finally gets brought down, pulled down by his jersey at the 25-yard line, excuse me. So good return there by James Former. It will set the Chaos up with some good field position from their own 25 as their offense comes back out onto the field.
That was a nice job by Torrey Ruffin. I mean, it's very hard to bring a guy that strong down like that, the way that he did, to just grab onto his jersey and yank him back. So a very nice tackle that he did on the Former, but a good return by Former though too. He saw where his blocking was. It was a designed run to the left. He got there and at least got his team a good gain.
And we've called Torrey Ruffin's name a few times today. He's got 2 tackles now on the afternoon for the Raiders. Anthony Iannotti, we talked about, leads the team in rushing right now, 75 yards on 1 carry.
Yeah, that's a 75-yard average too.
Yes. So Iannotti.
I don't think it's going to stay that high.
I don't think so either. Iannotti out of the gun. McFarland, Former on the right. He's got Brockman and Hampton on the left. Jarrell Johnson in the backfield alongside Iannotti. Takes the snap, looks to the right, throws over there. He's got Former caught at the 40, across the 50, down inside Raiders territory. There's a flag out at the 20, at the 10. Walking into the touchdown, but there was a flag that was thrown at the 40-yard line. I think that's going to come back.
That's going to be on Josh Hampton with a push in the back is what they're going to call. Really, I don't even think he needed to do it. He was trying to get him in the shoulder, and he didn't get there. It was unnecessary. This is going to bring this play back. It's still going to be a big gain,
yes,
but not as big as it could be.
Illegal block in the back, 10 yards from the spot of the foul. 1st and 10, Chaos.
So still a good play there for the Chaos. I mean, you want a touchdown. If you take one more look at that play, and there's the penalty right there, Chris. It really didn't need to do that, as Former can outrun almost anybody.
And he just missed getting him into the side, as you saw in the replay there. He was about a half a step away from that being a legal block. As you see, he makes the contact in the numbers. As soon as they see that they're throwing the flag, doesn't matter if you were kind of on the side. You're hitting the numbers, that's a flag.
And it still goes as a 22-yard gain.
Yes.
But, I mean, 22 compared to a 75 and a touchdown would have been 2 75-yard plays in the same game. But it's good to see the Chaos offense really getting going here as they come back out 1st and 10 from the 46-yard line. Iannotti out of the gun, 4 wide receiver spread. He's got Johnson in the backfield alongside him. He makes the play to Johnson outside of Hampton on the screen pass. Gets upfield, finally brought down at about the 48-yard line, so picks up about 3 yards on the play. As Josh Hampton, we said his name, previous play, he was called for the block in the back, which negated that touchdown. Josh Hampton last week had a 99-yard touchdown reception on a screen pass that came out of the old end zone for the Chaos. Very dynamic player, as really the 4th-string receiver on this Chaos team. That's why I talk about how deep this receiving core is for the Chaos.
And that was Torrey Ruffin again on that play there. That was an arm tackle that he did, a very strong arm tackle. I mean, Ruffin's a guy that you really got to do a good job if you want to try and get around him. Even if you do beat him a little bit, he's able to stay with you pretty well.
So Iannotti, pressure coming, just gets rid of that one. On the outside was defensive back Steve Kleist coming in for the Raiders, and he was untouched. And Iannotti felt the pressure, came from a strong side, saw him in the corner, and threw that away.
Yeah, that was a really good job. I mean, you saw that he was coming off the edge, and there was no blocking there to stop him or even chip him or anything. So it was a good job by Iannotti recognizing that as the snap happened and knowing that he had to get rid of that ball fast. Otherwise, that would have been blown up in the backfield, and that would have been a pretty good loss of yards.
2nd down and 8 here for the Chaos. Trips to the left. He's got McFarland, lone receiver on the right, as he moves Former now into the slot on the right. Iannotti takes the snap, looks left, throws the flat, dropped at about the 46-yard line. Was Josh Hampton trying to haul it in, just couldn't. It was on the hands, but just slipped off. Excuse me, that was 3rd and 8. So now a 4th down here, decision time for the Chaos, as they looks like they're going to send Dominic Kozlowski out to punt this away.
And this is a tough play to have to punt on. It looked like there was an opportunity for a play to be made there on the left side, but this is a team that has scored every time their offense has gotten onto the field. So you really wanted to try and give your defense a little bit of time to rest and get ready to go back out there. But their defense is probably going to be up for the challenge anyway.
Yes, and we talked about the return game, the return talent of this Racine Raiders team. Back to return is Tyrone Galvin, who's got 2 punt returns, touchdowns on the season. The punt is picked up by Ruffin, number 30. Swings by a defender across the 30 to the 35, over to the 40, breaks down the sideline, across the 50, finally hit out of bounds at the 42-yard line. Nice return there by Ruffin, and now the Racine Raiders will have excellent field position on the Chaos side of the field.
And really that play from earlier that got called back because of the holding is starting to become one of those plays that when you look at this game at the end, that may be one that you say that was the deciding factor. That might end up being what happens with the way this game seems to be
still
going.
a lot of time left, but Josh Hampton cannot feel good about this one. Give him credit. He was trying to make the correct play. He was making a teammate play, trying to get an extra block. So Josh Hampton, very good player for this team. I'm sure he will make it up to the Chaos after that. So coming out of the I form now, takes the pitch, heads off the fullback, brought down by Nick Olsen after a 2-yard gain was Connor Flannery.
I want football 365.
I do too, Chris.
365 days a year. They cover football all around the Wizard world. Visit them on Facebook for the perfect news feed, www.iwantfootball365.com.
This will be a second down here from the 38-yard line of the Chaos as the Raiders break huddle. Out of the shotgun, Craig McClellan. He's got 2 tight ends in there. Moving to the left in motion is his tight end, Chris Hicks. Pitched over to Galvin on the outside, across the 35 to the 30. Brought down at about the 27-yard line as the Raiders continue to dominate possession and run the ball primarily with their lead runner, Tyrone Galvin.
He is really dangerous on those sweep plays like that to the open side of the field. You give him some room to run. He's really fast, and he can make a couple of moves. There he didn't really make any moves to get where it was all his speed to gain all that yardage.
Yes, he just came out of the outside, and the Chaos had no one over there. He was just able to break it outside and pick up some positive yardage. So out from the 26-yard line.
Didn't see if their line, it looked like maybe their line, it was a counter as well, too. It looked like their line was pushing to the left, and he just ran to the right.
Craig McClellan out of the gun, looking left, throws one in the end zone up top. Single coverage, caught. Touchdown, Raiders, number 17, Terrence Fitch, for about a 25-yard touchdown throw and catch from Craig McClellan.
When McClellan was looking that way the entire way, I mean, he barely even got the ball, and he was already throwing it. Trying to see what happened here on that play, it was really tough from that angle to see what had happened because it looked like Marvin Roan was with him for the most part, and he just got a step on Marvin Roan, and that's what the line was pushing there. To the left.
So now 20-7, Raiders lead
out
of the gun, looking left, throws one in the end zone up top, single coverage. Touchdown throw. Marvin Roan just got a little bit beat on that play, could not stay with them.
It was hard to see, though, how he got beat was the only thing. That we didn't get to see him from the line to see what had happened for Marvin to get beat. We don't have, I don't have the best view of that side of the field from where we are in the booth. But, I mean, that's the guy who you usually don't see get beat like that.
Yeah, so tough start here, tough quarter after a very promising first quarter. The Raiders have scored twice, and the Chaos, they had the touchdown, 75-yard touchdown to Former called back on a block in the back and had to punt it away, and the Raiders came down and scored. They have now scored on 3 straight drives, on 3 for 3 today, scoring touchdowns, 21-7 now.
Do you want updates on the Midwest Minor League Association? Just go to their Facebook page. Go to Facebook and search Midwest Minor League Association. And when you look at that too, Cody, I mean, here's the thing right now for the Racine Raiders. They scored on every possession that they've had so far in this game. And for a very proud defense like the Chicago Chaos, that's really tough to handle. They're not going to let that continue, I'm pretty sure. They're too proud of a team. But they need to do that anyways, just if they want to stay in this game, because if they let this team continue to roll, they will.
Yeah, still plenty of time left. You're only in the second quarter. It's only a 2-possession game, but you have to get a spark going, and hopefully this offense can provide it and get their defense pumped up for when they come back out on the field. So kicking off now for the Raiders is number 34, Josh Seffi, as he's a little onside boot and pushed in the back and taken by the Raiders, fumbling out of bounds. And I think that's going to go to the Chaos. The ball came out of bounds. It was not in possession, so the Chaos will return, but dangerous play there.
That was a smart play, though. I know what they were trying to do. It was a very smart play. They almost got it. Almost worth the try. I mean, it was worth the try. Your defense has played great
now for the
so
Raiders,
far, other than that 75-yard touchdown.
And just holding on your breath here, right here, Chris, as the Raiders almost came up with that. Was Ruffin, I believe, again. And excellent hit there from Brockman of the Chaos as that ball was fumbled out of bounds. So remaining possession with the Chaos as their offense comes back out.
Yeah, there was never clear possession of the ball, and since it hit off of a Racine player.
You talk about Brockman has saved 2 turnovers now for the Chaos.
Yes,
earlier in the game, that fumble, and now this one.
That was a huge one, too, because you're already sort of reeling from what just happened. And if you were to lose the ball again, that could have been very deflating.
Chaos out of the gun, hands off to Johnson. He finds a little hole, breaks forward, and brought down at the 36-yard line. And that's Ruffin again on the tackle. He's been all over the field for this Raiders defense.
If I'm the Chaos, any side of the field that Ruffin is on, I'm avoiding.
You try to avoid it, go to the other side.
He has really been everywhere on the field, and he's a defensive back too. It's not like he's a linebacker that's flying everywhere. He's a defensive back, so he has further that he has to go most of the time to get to these areas. But he's very strong. I want to see if they maybe can try and take advantage of him in the passing game. He seems very good going downhill, but what happens when he's having the backpedal and try and go into coverage?
So the Chaos out of the gun. Brockman on the outside of the left with McFarland as Hampton and Former on the right. Johnson in the backfield. Ionati moves Former in motion to the left, so you got trips left now. Throws a screen to Former. He catches it 35, across the 40, to the 45 to the 50. Slides down, losing his footing. That's going to be a first down. Chaos into Raiders territory. And that's what they like to do with Former, the Chaos. They like to give him the ball at the line of scrimmage, behind the line of scrimmage, little screen passes, little dump passes in the flat, let him do his thing as we take a look at that replay.
Well, Former's got to be their go-to guy, I think, today. He's already had the best start for the receiving core. Keep getting him the ball in space however you can do it. That's a good way to create an opportunity for him as well, but also looking for him downfield in the passing game is something I want to see too, not just the screen game.
Anthony Ionati now is 4 for 6 with 56 yards. Had the longest completion of the game was 32. Out of the gun now, 4 wide receiver spread as Brockman moves in motion from left to right. Ionati takes the snap, looks to the right, throws over to Brockman, caught at about the 45-yard line. That'll be a 3-yard gain. Make it 2nd and 7 now for the Chaos.
That was a beautiful catch, too. He knew that pressure was coming onto his back and was able to hold the ball through the collision.
Well, that's one thing we really haven't seen. We haven't seen much of the Chaos offense today. Obviously, that first drive only taken 3 plays. The play of Brockman, Matthew Brockman, the wide receiver, I think he has the best hands on this team. Very physical, very tall. You can throw it up in space. He's going to go grab it. And you talk about the play with Former and McFarland, you know, the little guys, the speed guys, the guys you get in the open field, let them do their thing.
Well, you have to attack this defense in more than one way, too. You can see they're a very good defense as well. We talked so much about the Chaos defense, but a very good defense on the Racine Raiders side.
So Ionati out of the gun, throws on a slant pass to McFarland behind him. McFarland cannot haul it in. So 3rd down for the Chaos is coming.
And McFarland, too, I mean, perfect break on the route. It was just a little bit thrown behind by Ionati. Timing a little bit off. I mean, it's been a couple weeks now, so the timing is still getting there. It's still not at where they were before the injury.
Yes, and you know this Racine Raiders team is the real deal. They're an excellent football team, and we talked about this earlier, Chris. This is really a measuring stick game for the Chaos. Let's see what they can do. It's time to prove to everybody how good you are. So let's get going. As Ionati out of the gun, trips right. Johnson in the backfield with him. He throws a screen to Former, gets some blocks. Former breaks inside, wrestled down at about the 41-yard line, so short of the first down. And decision time again. There's a flag on the play.
That was
False start, I believe.
2 for the Chaos from the Raider 40-yard line.
Well, they haven't.
They haven't said anything.
But I did see this false start signal there.
So I guess not.
But the ball stayed.
Yeah, ball stays there. So
okay.
So it's going to be 4th down here.
So something that people might not be used to is the false start. Usually that'll make it
they
an
don't
instant.
blow it dead.
Right. It's
Yes.
not a dead ball here.
So big play here for the Chaos from the 40-yard line of the Raiders. Out of the gun is Ayanati, 4 wide receiver spread. Takes the handoff to Johnson, now runs it himself and brought down at the 38, 37-yard line. He's going to be short.
It's going to be on the spot. It's very close. I think he may have gotten it. I think it's going to be a first down.
I didn't realize where. I think he did.
I
thought
think he got it. And they've already got the one
First
on
look,
there.
I think he was short. It was an excellent spot.
I think the spot was right. It looked like it was in the right spot. Actually, that might be even shorter of a spot than where it looked like he had gotten to.
Good play, and that was the same design play they
yeah.
called on the other third down. Obviously, his touchdown run was to the outside. That was more to the middle, but it was an Ayanati run, and it worked out perfectly on that fourth down.
And you needed that one. You need to keep your offense on the field. Let your defense stay on the sideline a little bit longer.
Ayanati out of the gun. McFarland moves in motion. A screen pass to McFarland, caught behind the line of scrimmage and hit hard at the 39-yard line by number 26, J.D. Hardy of the Raiders.
You know what? The crowd really got into that hit, but I love seeing McFarland just bounce right back up like that. You always like to see that from a player after a big hit like that because it kind of, the crowd's like, ooh, but when you get up that fast, it kind of takes a little bit of the wind out of the sails. Well, the problem with that more than anything was a little bit behind McFarland on the throw. It gets right to him. He gets an extra step upfield and gets actually a little bit of a gain for Chicago.
And looks like the Chaos are going to get
penalty, still second down.
delay a game, so the crowd noise has been very effective here. The Chaos hasn't really played this much with this crowd noise. A huge crowd here rooting for Racine, getting in the ears of Ayanati.
Oh, wow.
So second down and 18 now.
And they're going to have to, there's some things going on the sidelines on the far side. The security already making the way over for that.
Ayanati throws, tipped at the line of scrimmage, incomplete. Third and 18 now for the Chaos. And finding themselves in trouble here in the second quarter with under 5 minutes to go. Down 21-7.
And when you look at it too, I mean, just a tip ball, it looked like there was some room there for a play to be made for the Chaos, and unfortunately that ball gets tipped.
So we'll see what the Chaos offense does here. Again, third and very long. We have seen them pick up plays like this before, but never against the Racine Raiders. As Ayanati out of the gun, 4 wide receiver spread. Johnson in the backfield alongside with him. Ayanati takes the snap, scrambles to his left, throws deep, wide open as Brockman cannot make the catch. The throw was a little outside, and Brockman took a dive at it. He was wide open and just could not haul it in.
I want to see that again because it looked like, I mean, there was no one around him. I think he just planted his feet, and that's what caused him to miss that ball. He just stopped moving his feet. If he keeps himself ready for the ball.
Yeah, I think you're right, Chris. I want to see one more look at Ayanati's throw.
I mean, it was a little bit off.
It was a little off thrown, but I still think Brockman had a good shot at it. Just a little bit. I mean,
you know what? He didn't stop his feet. It was just a little bit off. His dive actually slowed him down. If he kept moving his feet instead of diving, he probably makes the play.
So we just got to update the Milwaukee Brewers that beat the Cincinnati Reds 6-1. Good job, Milwaukee. As we have a fumble now on the punt, and he picks it back up and gets it away and goes down and finally down by the Raiders. And that was another scary play for the Chaos as their punter, Dominic Kozlowski, fumbled the snap. He was able to have the presence of mind to pick it back up and get it out of there and get some yards away for the Raiders.
Well, it took a Raiders bounce as well, so that kind of helped them out as well. Are you familiar with LifeLock? Are you familiar with LegalZoom? This is like both on steroids for less money. Visit www.windycityprotection.com, and you saw in the replay there, that almost hit somebody in the back for the Raiders too, so it was a smart decision just in case it did to jump on the ball for the Raiders.
Yes. So now the Raiders come back out. Their offense has been playing very efficient today. Out of the gun is their quarterback, Craig McClellan. Three-wide receiver spread on the left. McClellan shuffle passes over to Lashley, and no good on the intended pass. Dropped, and there's a flag at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, I didn't see what the flag might be for. They're going to converse about it now. It looks like we're about to get the call.
12 man on the legal man.
Complete pass, 5-yard penalty, ineligible downfield.
Ineligible.
It was a forward pass.
I thought he was going to say more. It was an ineligible receiver downfield is the call. And then what you heard there at the end was one of the players for Racine and Sam DeLille. He was trying to plead his team's case, but he said it was a forward pass, so that's why the call happens.
Yeah, so it'll be 1st and 15 as they do not a loss of downs there on the ineligible receiver downfield. So out of the shotgun again here on 1st and 15, Craig McClellan, three-wide receiver, trip left. Throws to the right. He's got a man down there covered. Goes up, caught. There's a flag on the play, and that was caught by Steve Morris.
I think this one's coming back, Cody. I think they're going to call offensive pass interference.
As Nick Olson points to the right, and the coverage on the play was Dylan Hunter. It looked like he had good coverage.
He looked like he had good coverage. He was actually in a better position.
Take one more look at that, Chris.
Pass interference, number 14 offense will be 10 yards from the previous spot.
And that's Chris Labasco with the call there, as he is never wrong.
Well, I wasn't the one making that call. That was
yes. Chris Labasco, my partner, he called it earlier though.
Right. Yeah. That was. I mean, you could see it. The problem when you're that receiver on the outside there is when you do use your hands, you can get caught sometimes. I mean, it wasn't the biggest push, but it was enough to give enough separation for the official to make the call.
So here we go now. The Chaos in good position now.
He's got to go to Brandon Marshall camp.
Their defense comes out with a good opportunity. 1st and 25 for the Raiders. Trips right formation, out of the gun, empty backfield. McClellan over the middle, caught by, again, there we go, cross midfield over to the 40, getting brought down finally at the 50-yard line. What a play there by Steve Morris.
He had to make up for his last play, and he did right there. That was a beautiful play from Morris. That was all him, a very well-run route, and then he just runs through a bunch of tackles. I mean, there was multiple Chaos players there to try and bring him down, and they just weren't able to.
As Steve Morris has been very good today. Wide receiver, take one more look. About a 40-yard gain as he just broke through the defenders of the Chaos. No one could bring him down.
And he just kept his feet moving. And something that the Racine Raiders do really well is they have they really do good with their two-man routes where they have two receivers running on one side of the ball. One runs one route to open space for the other receiver.
And McClellan hands off to Lashley over to the left. Finally brought down at about the 46-yard line by number 99 of the Chaos, Adam Nelson.
And those routes are all timing, too, when you look at it, Cody, because you have to throw the ball at the right time as that first route has gone through to open for the second route.
And now, Chris said the situation here, 3 minutes, 8 seconds and counting before halftime, and the Raiders pick up that 40-yard play to Morris, and now they're looking to score again before.
And here's the thing, too, for the Racine Raiders. They don't have to use their timeouts yet. They can take their time. They can still huddle up. They still have all their – I believe they have all but one of their timeouts, I believe, is how many they have.
McClellan throws up Morris, caught and hit immediately, brought down by number 21, Quinnell Johnson.
Yeah, they have 2 timeouts left for the Raiders here. They can move methodically downfield and take off all the rest of this time and go score a touchdown maybe with 20 seconds left. Leave as little bit of time for the Chicago Chaos offense as you can.
And time continues to tick as both teams out on the field. Whistle has been blown. And it's going to be the 2-minute warning.
Thought we were going to get the official to make the call.
Yes, I always want to wait for the official to make a call before I make a assumption that may be wrong.
He made the call. He forgot to turn on his mic.
Yes. Got to have that mic on.
But when you look at it, though, for the Chaos, I mean, this is not something this is something you can easily come back from. That's the good thing. The goal right now for the Chaos, not allow Racine to get a touchdown before the half ends. Keep this game where it's at 21-7. Don't let it get any more out of reach.
And here's the thing, Chris, too. The Chaos offensively have been moving the ball. They've made some mental mistakes. You know, the penalty that negated the touchdown. When you talk about their defense, they're so used to committing. They have not forced a turnover yet in this game. And usually they're defensively, it's 3 and out, interception, 3 and out. But now the Raiders are playing very methodically, moving the ball on these short gains, run plays to the outside. They're very versatile, and something I don't think the Chaos have seen yet. They have to kind of get used to it. But to your point, Chris, only down 21-7. It's only a 2-possession game, and you still have an entire second half, including the rest of the 2 minutes here in the first half.
Yeah, it really keeps you off balance, as this 2-minute warning will brought to you by Workup Fitness, the indoor facility offering a unique approach style to obstacle course training. Their services will accommodate the growing demand for this popular sport. Visit them at www.workupfitness.com.
So third down here, McClellan throws to the left. He's got a man deep, could not make the catch on the play. Was DJ Smith. Covering for the Chaos was Quinnell Johnson. Was pretty good coverage there by Johnson as he forced Smith to try to make a difficult catch and could not haul it in.
And that's something they need from this defense. There's been some really big open windows for the receiving team. You've got to try and limit the windows that they have to throw to. I mean, very accurate is McClellan, but you have to make life tougher on him than it has been so far.
And now McClellan stays on the field here on the 4th and 2. I tell you what, Chris, I would watch out for the quarterback sneak, as they did on the 4th and inches. As McClellan takes the snap, and he's going to run with it himself, and he gets the first down to the 38. So there it is, the quarterback keeper.
He's a big body. I mean, all he had to do was almost lunge forward, and he was going to pick up the yards. He just found a small enough seam that he could fit through. I mean, when you look at McClellan, he's a 6'5", 250-pound guy. It's a pretty big guy.
And McClellan has been very good in this game. No turnovers. He has 2 touchdown passes, thrown for 172 yards. As takes a snap out of the weak eye, hands off to Lashley around the outside, brought down by Nick Olson from behind. Nice tackle there by Olson.
I don't think he was the one to get there initially. He had some help bringing him down.
Yes.
But getting there has been one of the big things in holding on to him.
Lashley on the carry, Raider
yeah. Timeout was taken again, this time by the Raiders. You would think it was getting close to when they would, as it's almost to that minute mark here.
Yes.
But we're going to stay here for this one here on Sportstown Chicago.
Minute 10 to go here in the first half.
Again, the big thing for Chicago right now is you don't want to let them get any more points on the board. So really, this has got to be where you draw the line in the metaphorical sand.
Yeah, it don't look behind. What happened in this first half, down 21-7. You have to keep moving forward. You're a good football team, good defense, good offense. Just keep fighting, keep finding ways to attack this Raiders team.
I don't know how good the kicking unit is for.
Raiders have an excellent kicker, and he's got a pretty good leg. He's 10 of 12 this season from field goals. Number 34, Justin Sheppy. So he kicks more field goals than the Chaos do. A few weeks back, the Chaos actually had their first ever field goal, and it was for a game winner. So we resume play now as McClellan out of the shotgun, 4 wide receiver spread. Lashley in the backfield with him. Blitz coming for the Chaos. Is picked up. Goes a flow to the outside. Caught and running out of bounds is number 3, Sam D'Elia. D'Elia now continues his good game. That's his 4th reception of the game for 43 yards. He had the first touchdown of the game.
Quick throw, and again, knowing right where he's going, right as the ball is snapped, is McClellan. He's very good at reading defenses. I mean, when a guy is able to look at his receiver right from the snap and know where he's throwing it already, that's knowing how the defense is going to be.
So under center now, trips left, dropping back, hands off to Lashley on the delayed draw. And he gets across the 25 inside to about the 21-yard line. And now the hurry-up offense starts to go as this crowd really getting into it.
They still have a timeout left here for Racine, so they don't
as
have to
McClellan
use
is going
it
to
yet.
spike the ball.
And not a bad decision to spike it either, but they do have to remember they do have one more timeout.
Yes.
You can take a little bit of time here. You don't have to rush too much.
No, but sometimes right there, you said you have the one timeout. You want to kind of save that so you get a little bit lower. You are close to the end zone, but you're still at the 22-yard line, still 22 yards out. You never know what can happen. So I think right decision there to spike it.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't hurt. There's no doubt about that to stop the clock.
It does lose. You lose the down, though. That's
right.
the one negative.
Although the one thing with Racine right now is downs hasn't been
It has not been an issue, exactly, Chris. So out of the shotgun as McClellan throws to left. Receiver not looking, and that was a missed opportunity there by the Chaos. As you saw, defending was Dylan Hunter. He was looking the whole time, but he could not get around the receiver.
That's because the receiver never looked for
the ball.
Steve
Morris was not looking for it.
That was two people off page for Morris and his quarterback and McClellan, because McClellan clearly thought that he was going to come back to the ball.
See that the dive made there by Hunter, he was looking at the whole time, and that would have been very nice if the Chaos could have gotten a turnover down in the red zone. So out of the under center now is McClellan here on third down. Takes the snap, fakes the handoff, throws a fade to the right corner of the end zone. Going up to make the catch is no good. He made the catch, but his feet were out of bounds, I believe, as the far line judge.
I don't think he held the ball onto the ground. I think the ground caused a fumble is what I think ended up happening.
That was Dorian Palmer. So the ball was on the ground as just got word.
Yeah, I didn't think he held on to it. He almost did. I mean,
it was a pretty nice throw. And
yeah, it was thrown in an area where only his receiver could make a catch. That was the thing, too, about the throw, and it definitely went to the ground. So
now the Racine Raiders will send out the special teams unit to try the field goal from the 21-yard line. It's going to make it a 38-yard attempt for number 34 kicker Justin Sheppy, who is 10-12 from field goals on the season. Chaos defense ready. The snap, the kick is up. It has the distance. No good, though. It's to the right. So about 27 seconds to go, the Chaos offense will have another opportunity. We've seen them have a 75-yard rushing touchdown, a 75-yard passing touchdown that was negated. So what do you look to do here, Chris? I mean, I think you have to attack, right?
Well, they do get the ball back at the beginning of half, so they may take a knee here. It depends on what they want to do. And looking at that kick, it looked like maybe Shep, he overjudged the wind, I think is what happened.
It was straight.
He overplayed it a little bit too much. The wind is blowing from right to left with where he was kicking from the far side of the field to the near side. He kicked it towards the far post, but the wind didn't take it back enough.
So Anthony Iannotti takes a knee and is going to walk off the field. So the Chaos will go to halftime down 21-7 as we just wait while the time clicks off. So what have you seen, Chris, from the Chaos that they can take as a positive moving in to the second half?
Well, the big playability still there. They still are a very dangerous offensive team, but they have to it's consistency. That's really all it is for them on the offensive end. And really on the defensive end, it's the same sort of case, is that you've made some great plays, but you've also made some plays that aren't very good. They've been caught looking a little bit too much at the ball sometimes, and it's resulted in some bigger plays. They've just little things that they can fix, and they can be right back into this game. I mean, it's already been a great game so far, even though it's a two-score game right now. This is it. These are two teams that you can see have a lot of talent.
Yeah, Anthony Iannotti, 7 for 12 of only 61 yards. A lot different story than last week. Chaos offense running game hasn't really been able to get going, but to your point, Chris, the big play is still there. As you know, we could be looking easily at a 21-14 game if not for that penalty, which I agree with the call. It was the right call. The man Former had him beat, and that was a touchdown.
And here's the thing as well, when you look at it for Chicago, why they haven't used their running game so much is because they've been down.
No Nate Cameo either.
Right. You can't go to your running game if you're down most of the time, especially when you start to get down by multiple scores. That's when you see teams start to throw a little bit more.
Yes. And it's been tough for Johnson to get a rhythm going, too. He's a rhythm runner. You know, he's going to chip away with you for 2 yards, 1 yard, 3 yards, maybe a 5-yard gain, and then that's when he gets going and gets those big gains.
Yeah, and we'll see how they adjust here. I mean, there's definitely some adjustments to be made, I think, offensively and defensively for them. I think it's unfortunate that they've got to try and play a little bit tighter on these receivers because they're taking advantage of some of the under routes. So you've either got to play tighter on the outside or you've got to get more pressure on the quarterback. And that's one of the two things.
That's the one thing that I'm still very confident with is the Chaos defensive line. They've shown all season, it seems like they've done this every game, they don't get a whole lot of pressure on the quarterback early. And then in the second half, you start seeing Nicholas White, who leads the GFL in sacks with 6, really make his mark on the game late. So I'm telling you, Chris, get ready to call some Nicholas White sacks in the second half because he's been doing that all season. And they really can use him right now because they need to get pressure on this quarterback, Craig McClellan, because I don't care if you're Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, Craig McClellan, if you're getting pressured, you're not going to be able to throw the ball off your back.
No, and this is a quarterback who is very good at knowing where the rush is coming from, so you've got to bring a lot of pressure.
Yes, and you have to disguise your blitzes. You have to try to confuse him because we talked about he always keeps his eyes downfield. And he's
good
not
at reading the defense.
He is, and that's all about smarts. He obviously studies. He works hard on the game film, and he knows where his receivers are going to be exactly. So a guy like that, you really have to try to confuse him with your defensive lineups.
Yeah, you definitely have to. And I think the Chaos have there's no question the Chaos have the ability to come back in this game. It's just can they get it done here in enough time? Can they make these adjustments here at half?
Yes, the Chaos need to make some adjustments, but you have to give a lot of credit to Racine. They're an excellent team.
Very good team.
But we're going to wrap it up here for the first half. We're going to be back for the second half for the Chicago Chaos football here in Racine, Wisconsin. 21-7 lead for the Raiders. We'll be back on SportsTownChicago.com.
From Chicago's Game Night. You've heard me talk about